Hi, I'm Catherine from Outsource Elite, and at Outsource Elite, we work as a trusted advisor or a connector between businesses and technology solutions. The idea behind these videos that I'm making is to showcase some of the top solution providers in the portfolio that I have access to. And today, I'm talking with Joey Savoie, who is a partner sales director at Core AI. Welcome, Joey.
Thank you very much for having me. Very excited.
Me too, me too. Okay, so let's jump into it and talk a little bit about understanding Core AI's unique value. Can you tell us a little bit about what inspired the creation of Core AI? Because I think it is relatively new out there for us in the community. And then tell us a little bit about how it stands apart from, say a more traditional contact center solution.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. So I've been here for 6 months, and I actually came from one of the legacy CCaaS providers, and I've got a few different reasons why. But Core AI, we're now an 11-year-old AI company. So we've been doing AI for 11 years. ChatGPT hasn't been around that long,
Right.
and now everybody's talking about it, right? You can throw your name, AI behind your company name, and you're now an AI company. Big differences. We've been at from inception. We've grown to service 400 of the top 2,000 companies in the world from a conversational and now generative AI perspective. So we're really on the forefront of developing value around AI, use cases, being able to allow organizations to present up to leadership, right? Because the big thing is, how do you deliver ROI now that you have an AI budget? So that's really where we started and where we continually are on an upward trajectory with everything in the market.
Right, right. And, AI is such a hot topic right now. And we think about it kind of traditionally in the space with customer engagement and that CX role. So, how is Core AI leveraging conversational AI and other AI tools to better develop the outcomes compared to more conventional approaches that we've seen in the past?
Definitely. So definitely on the CX side, that's what a lot of people know us for. We've categorically we put AI into three categories where we see our current customer base as well as prospects really achieving a value. And that's AI for work, which is everything employee experience, AI for process, which is process automation that also touches on employee experience, and then traditional AI for service. So a lot of customers use us to connect to their CCaaS providers because we're the leader in conversational AI, as well as with agent assistants, but we do have our own contact center. But the big thing is, what can you do in self-service? How can you let your customers self-service? How can you relieve the agents from answering the same question over and over and over again and bogging down your contact center? So it all ties back to the three value areas that we found are the AI for work, AI for service, and AI for process, with pre-built accelerators where you can go from POC to pilot stage and actually start getting ROI.
Right, right. Do you want to talk a little bit more about those three branches that you guys kind of focus on?
Yeah, so AI for work is, totally everything employee experience, down from, a single user interface. So our single user interface for AI for work can tie into over 200 different applications, company policies, procedures, and really be that single source of truth for a customer to work. Like if you are a sales rep, for example, and you're using Salesforce or HubSpot, you've got all your email, calendar connected, and leadership comes to you and says, I'd like to know where all your deals are at for the next 6 months and what the next steps are. That would take somebody, because I have to do it. I don't have to do it anymore now that I'm over here, but that's a good 30 to 45 minute exercise going into the CRM, putting the email together by simply asking that or interface that question. Send me a summary of all deals set to close for the rest of the year, next best steps. It will pull that information in the generative AI. It will put guardrails around that because it's company domain specific information, and it will put it together in an email where you can just send to leadership. So what would take 45 minutes, it now takes 30 seconds. It goes a little bit further into pre-built accelerators on AI for work. So that is really, we have pre-built accelerators in IT, HR and recruiting. So your full IT could be totally automated. Your help desk could be automated. It could be in multi different languages, 24 hours a day, and everything done there, as well as in HR. AI for process, that's a very interesting one. We have a use case that came in, big 3,000 person company. They've got, over 300 different contracts with their certain vendors, down from the trash service all the way up to their security service, their contact center, their UCAS, basically everything, where the legal team was tasked, or is going to be tasked with, I need to know all of our contracts that are coming up this year and what is the renewal terminology on those contracts. That would take a law team days to come through contracts and get, but with AI for process, you can do agentic AI and you can upload all those contracts using a RAG engine, using guardrails, and type in that query, and it will go through all those documents, pull everything out in real time. So you've just saved the law team a ton of time, you've just made leadership happy, and you've just made IT happy, because they're the ones that have to maintain all these systems that it's all collected in. And then AI for service. Said that is by far our meat and potatoes, the front end conversational AI. Now that generative AI has come into the mix, we're agnostic. We're the orchestration platform. We'll allow a customer to bring any outside LLM, Anthropic, Azure, OpenAI, the new one that just came out, right? DeepSeek. It doesn't matter. We're large language model, small language model agnostic. But the most important thing is blending the conversational and the generative AI, because generative AI is going to provide that, more empathy, human-based. It gets smarter, but again, you've got to have the conversational piece, or you open yourself up to a lot of security risk and brand loyalty.
Yeah, that leads on to my next question. Literally, my next question was, how do you ensure that the conversations feel natural and also tailored to individual needs? So you've touched on your 3 different process kind of automations there. So how does it feel, natural, I guess, even when it's powered by AI?
Well, we allow the customer to basically choose their own ASR TTS. So we allow them to choose their own voice. I heard one the other day, and I wouldn't say I have a strong accent, but it is kind of strong. And it was a Southern drawl accent for a company that we're working in. We're in Georgia. That's the one that they chose. But you can choose your own voice on which one makes the most sense, sounds the most natural. And again, you have the natural language processing behind that. So, it's leaps and bounds from what it used to be.
Well, clearly we haven't done that today between the two of us, Joey, because there's accents all around the show. But that's what makes it interesting, right?
Yes, it definitely does.
Well, thank you for your time today. That's all we've got time for. Join me next week when I speak to Joey again about exploring more of the technology behind core AI. Thanks, Joey.
Thank you.